Hey everybody. Today we're going to talk about a summative assignment called Dichotomous Key Assignment. So you did a little bit of notes on dichotomous key. You did a minion dichotomous key sort. And so now we're going to put it into action where you can kind of pick which things you're going to be separating into groups. And so we are going to look at create a dichotomous key that can be used to classify organisms. And let's not make it from the animal kingdom. Let's make it from anywhere. Say your imagination, or Star Trek, or Star Wars, or Minecraft, whatever you feel would make you happy. I don't really care. The point is that we are able to classify things. So the overview, this dichotomous key is created to classify anything. And you're going to just classify whatever you decide you want to do. And so I want you to be creative. There's no correct dichotomous key. There are correct ways to do it, but there's no like one singular way, this is how it must be done. Even if you and somebody else did all the exact same animals, there's more than one way to do it. So create a notability document. Choose animal photos. I'm using the example of animals. You need at least 8, but no more than 10, because after that it just gets a little difficult. And they can be real, they can be fantasy animals, they can be aliens, they can be whatever you want. All I ask is don't do minions, because you already did that. So go to the internet, copy paste them onto your notability so you have 8 to 10, and then put animals on the top or aliens or whatever you have decided you want to do, and you're going to sort them according to just physical features. Remember, it's not the environment, nothing like that. So if you're looking at something that can breathe underwater and something that can't, maybe focus on gills versus not gills. Don't say in the water versus on the land. That's not correct. It's not environment. That's the thing most people do wrong. Also, people often do mammal versus non-mammal. Well, mammal has already been classified, so that's not really something that would work for this. So if you're doing mammal versus non-mammal, maybe say scales versus fur, or feathers versus fur, or something like that. And use distinguishing characteristics, and so that there's only one thing on the bottom all the way across. So here's my example. And no, you can't use this one. You can use animals, but you can't use my exact outline here. And you cannot use my exact headings either. Yours must be different. So I went with does not have colors, has colors. And then, so of the ones that do not have colors, I've looked at and found short tails versus long tails. And then of the short tails, I found one had 4 legs and one had 2 legs. So it was 4 legs versus not 4 legs. And then of the long tails, and so on. So do you see how that kind of works out? I'll move this around so you can see the others. Let's see, there we go. There we go. So then of the many colors, these 2 have wings, these do not, this one has gills, this does not, and so on. So that is the whole project, is pick 8 to 10 and classify them so that each one is individually separated from the rest.